know anything about ByuN's TvP, you know why I'm concerned, especially with the comments that I made earlier about this map. Oh boy, we'll see. We'll see if Gerald can harness the power of missing you today, and we'll see if ByuN is going to be sick of him. Is he still going to miss him after this game? Oh no. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of missing you today, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. See, Kenny in the chat, we're going to late game. It's ByuN and TvP. Yes. Yes. That is the trajectory that we're already on. So again, ByuN, as you know, we bring this up all the time. He is the most macro-oriented Terran player in the world in TvP. I'm not saying that other Terrans don't, you know, get into longer and later games. They sometimes do, but ByuN more consistently than the others does often get into longer and later games, into 3, 4, 5A setups, into split map scenarios, is typically ByuN's trajectory in this matchup. Not saying that he always does, but he does have a higher tendency of getting into that kind of game state. Now, my concern coming into missing you today is that this is a very large map in the map pool, and unlike some of these other maps, one of the big benefits you have of gaining map control, which very often Protoss does do when they play against ByuN, like very often Protoss are going to be up like 1, 2 bases compared to ByuN, is the gold. The 2 gold expansions, not just 1 but 2. So if Gerald does gain map control, if he contains successfully ByuN on 4 bases, then Gerald's reward is going to be 2 gold expansions. And what that does in this matchup, if you know anything about late game or mid to late game TvP, you would know that it's very zealot heavy, where you build up your High Templar, your Storm, your Colossus, you have your core like set of robo units and your core set of like splash damage. You stay on a low gas count, so very low gases, hyper minimal intensive, mass zealots. And with gold bases, it means that you can be more active, more aggressive earlier on and max out earlier on as well. So that is my concern coming into this, but we'll see kind of where ByuN takes us, because for now, double gas, right? Double gas opener, faster factory, delayed CC, a bit of a more tech heavy start out of ByuN, and we'll see if ByuN can get damage done early on and slow Gerald down early on, if not kill him early on before we get into that late game. Otherwise, I do favor Gerald heavily on this map if we get to the late game, if we get there. Just because of these 2 gold bases. But we'll see. We shall see. Because in my mind, late game PvT, like these are just free Protoss spaces. At least in my mind. For now, we have our 1-1-1 follow-up. Reaper Hellions moving out. And we'll see if we can get into the mineral line. So far, Gerald is trying to keep up. Getting one probe so far. Shield battery is done, and Gerald 2 will defend. He defends nicely. Zones away ByuN. And again, for me, like I feel like the pressure is on ByuN. Like we gotta turn it up, man. We gotta lock in. Speaking of locking in, we have early tank production. So Tech Lab is now done. We don't go for the add-on swap into say Banshee play. Tank production has begun, and that means that ByuN, he may commit to early tank production into 1, 2, 3 tanks into an early move out. We'll keep an eye on ByuN. And Liberator is on the way. Not going for the Banshee, not going for the Raven. We'll see how safe Gerald plays. For now, Blink. Twilight Council into Blink. We do have a 3rd expansion. Quite greedy, actually. Okay. And ByuN confirms. Really important here. So ByuN, he's aware of the greed. Gerald did go 2-gate. 2-gate Blink into a 3rd. Did get a Robo at least on 2 bases, but he did delay his gases. So again, a bit of a greedier build here from Gerald rushing into the 3rd base. And the pressure is now on ByuN to punish. And ByuN knows, right? ByuN, he scouted the 3rd. He knows what's going on. Can he do anything about it? We have the Liberator towards the main. This is the 2nd tank that's on the way. Now, do we get a third tank or do we add-on swap into Stim? Well, oh, okay, add-on swap. Never mind. So we're going for the add-on swap, which means ByuN, he's not going to be committing here to anything too aggressive. He's going to be going for something more delayed, getting into Stim, into his bioproduction. He's setting up on 2 bases. And we should soon be seeing a third CC. Which means Gerald, he gets away with this. He gets away with a faster third. He's going to get it up and running. I mean, again, even if like we did see a third tank out of ByuN, even if he were to commit to a push, it's a large map. It's a really long rush distance by ground. So there's a reason why Gerald is being greedy here, is because you can get away with it. Because he can get away with it. Behind this, we have the Bay on the way. Fortress +1, charge into Colossus. Gerald, he's hunting. He's hunting for the Hellion Reaper. Ooh, he does not find it. Clutch moves out of ByuN. Does hide his army. Gerald's rotating over. Doesn't find a Marauder. Now, I expected a third CC. We don't see one yet. Stim is almost done. And Cody's paying attention. Blinks away in time. It's a couple of Marines. And there's a third CC. Third CC is on the way. This is quite a committed move out here by ByuN, and he should not actually commit. Yeah, he backs up. Does back up. 6 probes, not bad. 6 probes to Liberator. Yeah, Liberator into the main base, not bad. 6 workers do go down. Nice damage here by ByuN. He consolidates his army. And this is what he needed. 7 probes. 7 workers do fall. He consolidates, he's pushing forward. I'm still not too convinced if Gerald has everything together. Speaking of, Liberator does distract. Distracts in the main, but here come the charge lots. And Zelda getting on top of the tanks. Nice retarget firing there out of ByuN. And he does break through. Yeah, he does push through. As Gerald, he needs more zealots. The tank is going to go down. Tank goes down, Colossus kites back, and Gerald holds. Whew. Gerald, he does hold on, but that was a very intense hold. ByuN, he almost broke through. Casito, papi, casito. Again, ByuN, he still deals some economic damage. So Liberator was the MVP. And ByuN is now going to expand. So he's now taking his third. As he takes his third base, Gerald should get his fourth. And the game is going to slow down for a moment. Gerald still has to be active just to make sure he keeps up with all the drop play. That defense wasn't as decisive as Gerald would have wanted. Oh. Gerald pulls away. We have 2 Colossus so far. What's also important here is the new the new hotfix, if you recall, is the Ghost. The Ghost does have some extra HP. Is going to be a little bit more robust. As the hotfix was a couple of days ago. So Ghosts are building up. Berserk gets sniped. Oh. ByuN's already got his Viking production underway as well. Not looking too bad here. And again, what's important is that ByuN, he did retain part of his army, and he traded well enough where Gerald didn't just fully maintain, or he didn't fully gain map control. Gerald is still being threatened. So as I set up for a run by, the factory will scout. Despite that, it still gets into the mineral line. Gets 2. Takes down 2 SCVs. Stalkers get punished. And ByuN, he'll soon be able to push out, and he's got plenty of EMPs ready. Likewise, his Viking Gun is not looking too bad either. Now, a lot of this will come down to the Novas. We do see that Gerald, he is not going into Storm. He's actually going into Disruptors as a follow-up. Again, if you've been watching TvP over the past week, you would know that Protoss players like Hero, like Gerald, like Classic, they've been embracing Storm less and less and going for more Colossus into Disruptor. We've been seeing less Storm in recent times. In this matchup, at least. We still see it a lot in against Zerg. That's also crucial as to why ByuN is getting a second starport. Second starport is done. +1 ship weapons on the way as well. It's up to 8 Vikings. Oh, I'm gonna get spotted. Colossus gets caught out. Nice EMP. Yeah, very nice EMP. Nova does graze the army. One Colossus did go down. And the Novas have not been good enough. Oh! Yeah, just grazing the army. A little bit too premature. And ByuN, he can break through. He can break through. He takes down every Colossus. Colossus goes down. Disruptor as well. And there's no splash damage. Yeah, without any splash damage, EMPs, they pop off. And ByuN, he can stim. He can stim. He can win. He can break through. There's just no army here. There's no army left. We do have a Zealot run by, and it's getting some damage down, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As ByuN is a little bit overstimmed, but he has broken the base. He's broken the 4th base, and from here he can just keep on pushing. And again, Gerald, his Novas, they just didn't connect. I think he had, what, 3 or 4 Novas, and he just grazed the army. Gets a decent Nova here. Saves on the Vikings. I mean, Gerald, he will actually clean this up, though. Okay. Uh-oh. He does clean this up. SCVs are going down. Gerald, he's still very much so in this. I thought that ByuN had enough. I thought he broke the base, but no. He kills 15 pros, but ByuN also loses 12 SCVs. Gerald defends. Gerald, he defends. He survives. He still has his 5th base up and running. ByuN has reinforcements on the way. I mean, the run by also delayed the rally. True. Delayed reinforcements. ByuN was stuck at home. Now, I will say that ByuN still has momentum. The big thing working in favor of ByuN is how long it takes to rebuild those robo units. We have, what, 3 Disruptors, 0 Colossus. So 0 Colossi here for Gerald. We need those Novas to connect. They need to connect back. Okay, that's the first Nova. There's 2 left. Count the Novas back. We're holding on to 2 more. Zealots trade well. This is a very Marauder heavy composition. Zealots do get on top of those Marauders. At the same time, ByuN dropping into the main. ByuN drops in, more gross in production. Nova goes off. This time, a very nice split out of ByuN. Ooh, not towards the end. But overall, that, like, once again, that was 3 Novas. They're on cooldown. Oh, Gerald, that was a bold blink, and he will lose the Stalkers in the process. That was not the play to go for. He'll lose every Stalker and the Disruptors. Yeah, brutal losses there for Gerald. Ay, ay, ay. Now would be the time to go into Colossus, by the way. Where are the Vikings? There are 0. There are 0 Vikings. Now we need Colossus. But Gerald's still going for more Disruptors. There's 1 Nova left. Down to 1 Nova. It connects with 1 Marauder. Another Disruptor goes down. We get an okay Nova towards the end. But ByuN, he should still have enough. Yeah, the Novas just haven't been connecting. They haven't been connecting. Sims in, takes care of all the Zealots. ByuN, he should have finally done it here. As he sims forward. Zealots are trying to engage, but there's only a gateway army remaining. Yeah, just a gateway army. As we have plenty of disruptors, but again, there's just no damage output from them. Better connection here. We had some last second splits, but ByuN, he's breaking through. He's broken the expansion. We assumed that he had previously, but Gerald, he was able to hang in there. Never got back into Colossus. And you have to be fluid. Oh god, that's one over. Does connect. Juicy connection towards the end. But you have to be fluid with your army. Like once the Viking count gets low enough that you have to be able to switch back into Colossus just for some consistent splash damage. Relying on Novas like this, as you can see, is just not reliable. It's not viable. Hot pick up there out of ByuN. He breaks through the bases, breaks through the expansions. GG gets called, and ByuN takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And ByuN, he was able to be quite aggressive here. Again, it all came down to that first push. We spoke about it, the move outs in regards to the first tank push, hitting the third expansion, that linear third base. The trade was quite close, and yes, ByuN, he didn't break the army, but he was able to trade well enough to make sure that Gerald didn't gain map control. We spoke about it after that fight did conclude, but it was very tense. It was very tense afterwards because Gerald, he didn't defend as well as he needed to. He didn't protect his third base as hard as he should have. We saw that the Liberator got 7 probe kills in the main. From there, ByuN was able to get the ball rolling and then eventually break out and snowball out of control. It was also a really rough fight for Geralt in the center of the map afterwards. If you remember, I'm referring to the moment where ByuN had 8 Vikings and he was able to kill 3 Colossus before the fight began. Right, we saw that Gerald, he was caught out in the open. He lost all 3 Colossus. I think he got like 1 or 2 swipes in, but it was very lackluster, and that was the last we saw the Colossus. Once they went down, we never saw the Colossus again. It was just a really rough start for the fight, ByuN did snowball, and with that, we're now getting into game number 2 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran for Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss for Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. Here we go. So setting up. We are settling in, and welcome for the first time tonight to Winter Madness. There are 2 maps that we have yet to feature. One was Winter Madness, the other was Andromeda, but we are here, we are back. This is another one of these larger maps in map pool. Larger map, more macro oriented, more defendable on 2, 3, 4, and 5 bases. So we'll see if we can get there. Now, unlike Missing You today, there are no gold expansions here, so there are no gold bases to be concerned about. So gaining map control is not going to be as rewarding as it would be on Missing You today. But what do you have instead? You have the high yield gas geyser bases instead. So to have some high yield gas bases here towards the center of the map, you can take them more kind of naturally as well if you expand towards your opponent. And here we go. And we'll see if Gerald can have a stronger defense this time. Remember, when it came to the first push, the first wave of aggression, like ByuN, he was able to deal enough damage to make sure that Gerald didn't really get a handle on things. There was a lot of pressure on ByuN, and he pulled it off. He pulled it off back. I appreciate that we have the snow effects. If you remember, I think the last time I saw this was on the Christmas map, like from, what, a couple of years ago, like 2021? If Kura's in the chat, maybe she remembers. Was it 2020 or 2021? It was one of the early years where we had the Christmas map during a Duckling showdown. We featured a show match between Demi and Probe. But I don't know if we've had have we had this like visual effect in a ladder map before? Like we've had plenty of snow maps, so I just don't quite recall. '2020 was just last year. True. Smurge. As Reaper is zoned away. We have our tech of choice going for a Twilight Council opener into Blink. And we'll see if Gerald goes for another greedy build. Remember, last game we saw 2-gate Blink into a third. We have seen a resurgence of that build and of that style. On these larger maps, I do think it's more viable, and I wouldn't be opposed to it here. Second gateway is on the way. It was 2019. Oh, there you go. 2019's Duckling Showdown. As ByuN this time is going to be opening up with a Mind Drop. Tech Lab on the starport. Last game he went for Liberator production. This time we'll see if he goes for Libs once again or into Banshee play. Or even just a Raven. ByuN is moving out. He's boosting in. So just getting one probe. Gerald, he does pull away. And oh good. Nice retarding, nice delay. Yeah, ByuN, he delays the mining, delays the probes. That's Gerald, he just cannot mine for his main base. There we go. Mine shot goes off, and ByuN, he will save the Widow Mine. Pulls back in, saves the mine, pulls out. And really nice damage, getting 2 probe kills and so much lost mining time in the main. So a nice start for ByuN. Behind this opening of Raven. Oh, Gerald, he's attempting to intercept. Is attempting. He fans out. Oh, and he will barely miss. Yeah, Raven makes a pass, and yeah, Gerald, he's just a couple of seconds too late. Ah, Gerald. Widow Mine, thankfully, is dealt with. The Raven moves in, and Gerald is out of position. Probe's going to be going down. And we'll see if ByuN can get across the map. As he moves out, Gerald moves in. And the pressure's on Gerald. He has to get some counter damage done. Blinks into the main. Picks up a couple of Marines. Tank has arrived. Can we get on top of the tank? Oh! Barely not. Yeah, barely not. So Gerald forced a recall. ByuN is moving in. Can he siege up in range of the third? Does siege. Does get within range. Is within range. Charge is not yet done. Can Gerald hold on? As we got the slow bots moving in, he's trying. Oof. Yeah, Zelda with massive tank shots going off, and ByuN is trading far too well here. He will get the Immortal. The Immortal goes down. The Stalkers go down as well. Yeah, brutal trade for Gerald as he will lose everything. Oof. Yeah, 2 Stalkers get away. The tank's still within range. Actually, a little bit too far back. Gerald, he will clean this up. Gerald, he will hold. He will survive. He will clean this up. But once again, just like last game, just like missing you today, this was a brutal hold for Gerald. He survives, but once again, he will lose 7 probes, and he lost everything. The Zealots, the Stalkers, the Immortals. 10 Stalkers went down, an Immortal, Zealots, 12 probes, more auto charge harass, and Gerald falls behind. He does fall behind. ByuN back at home is finishing up his own third base, building up into Concussive Shell. And ByuN is getting into the mid game with a lead. Does have a lead, does have momentum, he's ahead. And it's going to be difficult for Gerald to recover. Very difficult. He's rushing into Disruptor. Oh. So he's got 1 Colossus into Disruptor. If this connects, then maybe. Gerald, he moves out towards the left-hand side. He will miss the main army. Oh, no. He's trying to hunt down the Raven. And here comes ByuN. And there's nothing here. Oh, God. Yeah, the base is under fire. There's just nothing to defend. Base goes down. Looks in, baits out the shot. Here comes it over, doesn't connect. And ByuN has done it. ByuN has done it. He has broken through. GG gets called, and ByuN, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played, and a really aggressive style here out of ByuN. Bearing in mind, he was never all in. Both game 1 and game 2, he was expanding. He was getting a third CC behind it, but he was very committed to these 2 base pushes regardless, and they were doing critical damage. Every time he didn't kill the base initially. He didn't kill the third base, but he traded well enough. He killed probes, he traded with the army, and he was able to maintain his own economy back at home, and Gerald just had a really hard time defending and recovering and actually getting into the mid game, protecting that third base in a decent position. He was pulled apart. He was pulled apart. Game 1, it was the Liberator. Game 2, it was the Raven. The reason why those probes were going down was that Raven Harass was continuing at the natural while ByuN was pushing in. So really impressive play there out of ByuN. Does a breakthrough, and with that, GG. GG, well played. For either map, we didn't really end up in that situation with the Protoss player gaining map control and getting out of hand and taking more bases. Gerald, he never quite got there. Not against Gerald. Not this series. GG. GG, well played. With that ByuN does advance on. He advanced on to the grand finals, and we have our finalists ready here. It's going to be a TvT between ByuN and Bunny. God damn it. hopefully I can keep up in regards to their names. Casting ByuN and Bunny, it can get a little bit intense at times. We'll make it through. We'll be fine.